Clear some of this junk off the table.
Yeah.
Remember your tape is over here.
All right, we on. Greetings, peace, and love to everybody tuning in. For those who tuned in for the first time, welcome to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition podcast, N.E.P.P.C podcast. My name is Brother Frank, and I'm with my brother
Abdul Haq Islam.
Today, we want to salute and just say thank you to those who participate in this historic tribunal. We still charge genocide. I had the opportunity to be there one of the 3 days, but actually 2 of the 3 days. That was the second day and the last day. And what I seen was very inspirational. It allowed me to understand the importance of this work. You've seen a number of political prisoners who were there, and I thought to myself, the amount of time that our people lost in terms of these strong, inspiring, powerful brothers being incarcerated. We're talking around over 100 years of incarceration collectively. And the Black community, people of African descent, and common people in general were deprived of that contribution to their advancement. So this is how serious the political prisoner work is. During this tribunal, the atrocities throughout the inception of the United States was evaluated. They talked about from 1400, the beginning with genocidal policies against native indigenous peoples, ending with what's happening today with police killing of unarmed people of color. So you're talking about from 1400 to 2021, because we know that these atrocities continue, right? Because we don't understand that this system of capitalism, the only way it can come into existence is by exploitation. So we realized that this tribunal was putting the United States and the issues of common people on stage, on the international stage. And I think that that was very important and very powerful. And what we need to do is find motivation from this. And we will free our political prisoners. It's just up to us to do the work. As Sundiata said, it's not up to the state to free political prisoners. It's for us to do it. And we do that by being organized. Brother Ha?
Yeah, peace and love, brothers and sisters. Indeed, the incarceration of our political prisoners is an atrocity equal to all the atrocities perpetuated by this enemy over the past 400 years. And this is something that which must wake us up, must enliven us, must give us energy to fight back. Our political prisoners are a great wealth to our nation. These are brothers and sisters who put everything on the line, and we must appreciate that. We must fight to free them. Like the brother was saying, we had the tribunal over the weekend, and if you want to get a brochure that talks about the tribunal, it's available. I'm looking the part of the brochure that says the people's programs. It talks about various people's programs, and one of the people's programs is the N.E.P.P.C, the Northeast Political Prisoners Coalition. So to get a copy of this brochure, you can contact the N.E.P.P.C at, let me put my glasses on. Sorry, folks. Free them all. That's N.E.P.P.C P.O. Box 380122, Brooklyn, New York. All right. So that's to get the brochure. Now I'm gonna read something to give you an idea of what the spirit of the tribunal was, and what we hope to gain from it. Now here is something that was written by Brother Jihad Abdul Mumit, Matt Maya, and Nkichi Taifa, talking about the tribunal and what will be presented, what will be proven, and what the result has to be. It says, any movement worthy of serious consideration understands its historical precedents and the strategic contours of building from past realities toward future possibilities. Okay, are we given a education you understand, which is really full of myths and lies, So one important aspect of our struggle today is truth telling, giving an education to our people based on reality, what really happened, because if we're dealing in unrealities, we'll continue to run off the cliff into the abyss, you understand, and and will not prosper, okay? The 21st century has so far been through some devastating crises, and while mass mobilization has been a feature of past years, consistent militant and revolutionary movement has not yet emerged. Okay, so that's what's got to emerge. That's what's got to come out of looking back on our history, telling the truth to our people. You understand, these truths that put power in us. You understand, that give us direction. You understand, that make us act like we got some sense instead of acting like we ain't got none. All right. The call for a 2021 international tribunal based on international law and steeped in popular resistance understands its place in history and the need to intensify all of our struggles to deepen our unity, as well as increase our militancy in any progress is to be made. Like the Sankofa bird of the Ghanaian Akan clan, we look back in order to understand how best to move forward. Okay, so we're saying that to move forward, this enemy must be held accountable for the things that he has done. So how is the enemy to be held accountable? The enemy is held accountable by us making revolution, by us spreading this truth, this international truth telling, you understand, to the world of what imperialism is. In the words of Che Guevara said that imperialism turns people into beasts. Imperialism is a beastly system, you understand, which depends on terror, massacre, torture, you understand, the most inhuman behavior imaginable, you understand, to amass great quantities of wealth, you understand. So we got to be crystal clear on that's what imperialism is, and we look at these various manifestations, these various historical examples of what imperialism has done. We know what we must do. For example, the brother mentioned the Native Americans. The Native Americans taught these people how to survive in the wilderness. For example, they taught them how to construct a fur trade, you understand, and how to feed themselves. And what did these folks do for in response? What they did in response, they marched west and murdered between 20 and 100 million Native Americans, you understand? And what do? They compose and make up a hypocritical day called Thanksgiving to say that they was thankful for what the Native Americans done for them. They was thankful for something, and Thanksgiving is an act of saying that we gratitude. And gratitude is an act of belief, so an act of faith, to be grateful for something, So they claim that they was grateful, but how did they show their gratitude? So this was an example of the hypocrisy and the lies, you understand, that we got to expose and militate against, you understand, to give our people a true understanding of what really happened and what's really happening in the world today. It's by the same token, what happened to African people, what these folks did in Africa, you understand, took 120 million of our people, and 70% of them died in the crossing the Atlantic Ocean coming to America, a transatlantic slave trade, based on cotton, and they got extremely rich on that. So these are crimes that we got to understand, that we got to know about and talk about all the time, and get the world to talk about, you understand, to move on this imperialist system. So we charge genocide, and we're saying that the crimes that they have committed in imprisoning our best, are among the most grievous, of the charges that we have against this enemy. There's different paths that people can take. Our enemy encourages us to take one path. We say take another path. We say to be among the best, like the revolutionaries among us, like Sekou Odinga, Jihad Abdul Mamik, Jalil Muttaqin. You understand? Like Asada Shakur. We say be like them. The enemy gives us a role model, you understand, of the lowest type, you understand, of a race traitor, of an Uncle Tom, of a black Sambo. They present somebody like Colin Powell, you understand, as what we should ascribe to be, a Negro, you understand, who claimed the fame was that he was able to drop some bombs on some non-white people, So this, according to America, is what we should ascribe to be, as opposed to being revolutionaries, freedom fighters. Colin Alambe Braff went to school with Colin Powell, and he revealed that Colin Powell insisted that his name be pronounced colon, like the large intestine. So this he himself insisted that he be known by the contents of the large intestine. In other words, he was full of it. He murdered black people in Panama. Many black people in Panama. So we said, no, that ain't the way to go. Let the revolutionaries show you the way to go. The highest examples of our humanity. The imperialists, they murdered people all over the world. South America, when Columbus headed to the U.S., he had written a diary in which he said that he was going to enslave people. That was the tension all the time. They went into the Aztec region. They murdered 36 million people there. The Western United States, 52 million. You understand? Like I said, between 20 and 100 million Native Americans on this soil. In Africa, in Australia, everywhere they went, they murdered millions and millions and millions of people. There is a documentary on YouTube called "Exterminate All the Beasts," in which these folks said that they had a God-given right to go to other people's land and to wipe everything off and to steal their land. Here in America, they have what they call a manifest destiny and the doctrine of discovery, saying that white Christians had a right to take the land, to dominate, to enslave, you understand, to be violent against the people. They said that God gave them that right to do that. So this system was built on lies. Was built on lies and violence. So we're saying that we must tell the truth. So this was what the tribunal was all about.
I want to read this before I forget. Right? This is a very important message, and it came from the NB4L.org, which is the Movement for Black Lives Honors Freedom Fighters and Political Prisoners. So let me read their statement, because they endorsed the we will still charge genocide tribunal. It says, "Freedom all." This is a beautiful picture, very powerful.
Yeah.
The Movement for Black Lives honors freedom fighters and political prisoners who put themselves on the line, risking social, economic, and physical security to defend the self-determination and lives of Black communities. We demand the freedom of all political prisoners currently incarcerated, and that they be returned to their families and communities. We furthermore demand an end to the war on Black people by ultimately abolishing systems of incarceration and creating systems of care. N4BL is proud to be in solidarity with the spirit of Mandela. So that's a very powerful message. And I think that message itself sums everything up, because it lets us know that this is a struggle for self-determination, and the political prisoners are those casualties in the struggle for self-determination. It's every nation's right to self-determination, and we have to understand that we have a national obligation to free our political prisoners. So with this tribunal, I think that informs us, it educates us, and it fires us up to get busy, right? We're going to start spending more time at home, right? This is the best time to get further educated. Get your library in order, get your documentaries in order. Make sure the discussions that you have with your family and friends and colleagues and people you go to school with and you're learning with is centered around political prisoners, because we have to ask each other questions, and then we have to hold each other accountable. We have to ask ourselves, when has the last time you wrote a political prisoner? And then you have to be able to respond, well, this is the time, and this is what they said, and this is the relationship that I'm building, because it's very important to build up those relationships. I know when I seen these former political prisoners at the tribunal, I was very inspired and very happy, and those conversations fueled me and let me ask myself, how can I contribute to the podcast? How can I make it better? How can I expand? And I'm going to be determined to continuously challenge myself to do more work. And it's with gratitude that I have a co-host like my brother Abdul Haq Islam, who is a former political prisoner, who educates me more on what it is like to be incarcerated, knowing that you're doing this for a reason that's bigger than yourself. So I just needed to get that off my chest. So I'll pass it back to you, my brother.
All right, yeah, I'm going back to the journal, and one thing I noticed that revolutionaries tend to be poets. So I'm gonna read a couple of poems, one by both by liberated political prisoners, one by Jalil Muttaqin and one by Assad Shakur. I'm gonna read these from the journal. It's by Jalil Muttaqin. This poem is called Pain. The absence of joy, void of contentment, when feeling only feels less, lost, and ideas absorbed in delusion. It speaks in monosyllables, if at all, in the tone of E flat, neither screeching or beseeching, bleaching anguish from a wound discovered from inside out. Inside out, outside, bombarded by racist radiation enveloping one's being in a bubble of white ambivalence, pushing the envelope to a point of irrelevance and when what matters does not matter. Black lives matter, our collective humanity matters, solitary confinement, and antiseptic whitewashed reality caused by imposition of nullification as a people of color are relegated to a prison nation. Denied purpose, denied reason, denied hope, denied justice. The hypocrisy of democracy will not be denied. We proclaim no justice, no peace. That's no lie. Part 2, living black in a white world, but taught not to be racist. Contradictions of a paradox wrapped in an enigma, the mystery lost in history. Not taught why the first is now last. Not racist, but pro-black, not anti-Israel, but pro-Palestine liberation. They too are Semitic. Building a future for the poor. When the rich want more, the poor loving freedom like the rich loving their billions. Reconciliation through revolution, part 3. Anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist, anti-exploitation, anti-racism, anti-hegemony, anti-class divisions, anti-colonialism, anti-oppression, anti-repression, anti-sexism, anti-chauvinist, anti-plutocracy. These are progenitors of pain, now labeled an anti-American. Okay, so that is the soul of a revolutionary. That's Jalil Muttaqin, a poem written in prison called Pain. And I can relate to that because I served some time too, so I know exactly what he's talking about. So here's a poem here written by Sister Sasha Kaur called No One Can Stop the Rain. Watch the grass is growing. Watch, make it obvious. Let your eyes grown casually, but concrete out of the dead gray leaves. The bravest blades of grass shoot up, whole and full of life. Watch, the grass is growing. It is growing through the cracks. The guards say grass is against the law. Grass is contraband in prison. The guards say the grass is insolent. It is uppity grass, radical grass, militant grass, terrorist grass. They call it weeds. Nasty weeds, nigger weeds, dirty, spick, savage, Indian, wetback, pinko, commie weeds, subversive. And so the guards tried to wipe out the grass. They yank it from its roots. They poison it with drugs. They maul it. They rake it. Blades of grass have been found hanging in cells, covered with bruises, apparent suicides. The guards say that the grass is unauthorized. Do not let the grass grow. You can spy on the grass. You can lock up the grass. You can mow it down temporarily, but you will never keep it from growing. Watch, the grass is beautiful. The guards try to mow it down, but it keeps on growing. The grass grows into a poem. The grass grows into a song. The grass paints itself across the canvas of life, and the picture is clear, and the lyrics are true, and the haunting voices sing so sweet, and song that the people hear and grasp from far away. And people start to dance, and the people start to sing, and the song is freedom. Watch, the grass is growing. Freedom. Okay, so that's something about the souls of revolutionaries. And like I say, brothers, since I gave you the address to get a hold to this pamphlet, we still charge genocide 2021 International Tribunal, October 22 to 25, 2021. And you can go online and see the whole tribunal by looking up Spirit of Mandela Tribunal. All right, look that up. Spirit of Mandela Tribunal. You can view the entire tribunal by going to that location. All right. So the tribunal talked about the history, and the enemy would want us to think that the devil has repented and got some religion now, but that ain't true, because the atrocities continue this very day. This very day, look in the Congo. Between 1994 and today, 6 million deaths. What are they fighting?
Brother, teach.
What is the cause of 6 million deaths in the Congo? The past history of the Congo. King Leopold murdered 10 million dark-skinned, 10 million black people in the Congo, because the Congo was the richest area in the world in terms of natural resources. So this murder in the Congo continues today. Rich corporations, have proxies in the Congo, and since 1994, 6 million people have died. Why? Over coltan. What is coltan? Coltan is the mineral which makes all your electronic devices work. Your computers, your televisions, your telephones, all of these objects work because of coltan. You understand? Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars are made off of this mineral, and our people are dying over this mineral. So this is today. The tribunal talked about the history of what these folks did, but the crimes continue today. All right. In Zimbabwe, the crimes continue. They got sanctions on Zimbabwe. Sanctions kill. You understand? Deny people of food. You understand? Deny trade, deny cash, deny funds, you understand? Deny funds is like denying oxygen. And these things kill. Sanctions kill. They know the sanctions kill in South America. You understand? They know the sanctions kill. They know that, so the sanctions killing black people in Zimbabwe is a premeditated murder. You understand? Capital murder. You understand? So Uncle Sam need to fry in the electric chair. He need to sit in the electric chair and his eyeballs bust out his head. His blood catch on fire. His heart explode. Uncle Sam deserves that. You understand? Because of the atrocities committed against black people. Zimbabwe, you understand, has stood tall, you understand, on the African continent in terms of controlling their natural resources, governing themselves, you understand, and America couldn't stand that. Zimbabwe took back his land. You heard we say, free the land. You heard that, free the land, right? Well, they freed the land. Because of them freed the land, the U.S. imposed sanctions on them. You understand? The same sanctions, the same type of sanctions as in Argentina that murdered people, in Venezuela that murdered 40,000 people. Like I said, they know the sanctions kill. So when they impose sanctions, it's premeditated capital murder. All right? Palestine, the U.S. was down and dirty with the British. You understand? And the Israelis. You understand? In the genocide in Palestine, 1948, the N.E.P.P.C, which is illegal. It was illegal to teach about the N.E.P.P.C in Palestine. You understand? 70,000 people misplaced. You know, made homeless, ran out the country. Thousands murdered. You understand? By Zionism. You understand? And so they would lie to you and tell you that God is a big racist in the sky, a big Zionist in the sky, a crime boss, you understand, who has an everlasting, non-conditional covenant with baby killers, that you can do anything, you can commit any crime, you commit genocide, you understand, and the contract still holds, that God is down and dirty with everything they do. So that's what they would, that's a lie that they tell us, you understand, and professors in America who teach about a Nakba, a fire. You know what I'm saying? So we're saying that in spite of what they do against truth tellers, you know, we must tell the truth. You know, you tell the truth about what these people did in Iraq. You understand? Julian Assange, who revealed that how American soldiers go in Iraq and just kick people's doors down and murder families and laugh about it, you know, like it's a big party. You know, this been exposed. The murderers are not put in jail, but they want to give the truth teller life in prison for telling the truth about what happened, you understand, with these soldiers. Like I say, they want the role model they give us is a Negro who goes somewhere and drop bombs on non-white people. That's what we're supposed to aspire to. Uncle Tom, a black Sambo, a bootlicking Negro, you understand? A lowlife, you understand? Who will do anything his master tell him to do. So this is supposed to be what we are supposed to aspire to. No, be revolutionaries. Aspire to be a revolutionary. Today, you understand, in modern times, you know, they commit atrocities against the Haitian people. You understand? After they had the earthquake and they brutalized them in Texas to run them out of the country. They came for asylum. You understand? Because of the effects of the earthquake. So today, the U.S., you know, like it has committed crimes against humanity in the past, it still continues to commit crimes against humanity and imprisoning our political prisoners for 30, 40, and 50 years, ranks among the tallest of the atrocities committed by this enemy.
Brother, I want to, sorry to interrupt you, but I want to touch on this point right here that Malcolm said. And this is in the brochure. We still charge genocide. We provided you with the contact. Reach out to us and we'll make sure you get your copy. It says the government has failed you. Anytime you find the government involved in a conspiracy to violate the citizenship of the civil rights of a people in 1964, then you are wasting your time going to that government expecting redress. Instead, you have to take that government to the world court and accuse it of genocide and all of the other crimes that it is guilty of today. This is Malcolm X, the ballot or the bullet, April 12th, 1964. Malcolm's words do not have an expiration date, and I think that is the basis for the tribunal. We want to put it on the international stage. That was very important that there was a demonstration at the United Nations, because other nations are watching the United States and they are able to see what's going on amongst people of color in terms of their relationship to the United States. I think that's very important. That's very powerful because it allows us to carry on Malcolm's ideas. You could bury the man. You could bury the man, but you don't have to bury the plan. So we have to do what we have to do in 2021, and I think that was very important. That idea was included into this booklet, because now you have the ammunition, and now you know what to do with the ammunition regarding how that idea has to translate to people when you talk to them. So that's what I needed to talk about.
Yeah, in the Malcolm statement, he made the statement, "We charge genocide." That statement you just read?
Yes, sir.
He made the statement, "We charge genocide." So that statement got to go everywhere, by every means, you understand? Multiply, amplify that understanding around the world. We charge genocide, and like we say, they must be held accountable. How do you hold them accountable? By making revolution. You understand? The charge of genocide, the understanding, the various genocides that went down, you understand? Teach the world about it. Even though, they hate truth-telling and education, tell the truth. You understand? Give them 1,000 nervous breakdowns. Give them 1,000 heart attacks. Give the pig a heart attack. You understand? Now, I've got to say right here that I was kind of shucking and jiving when I was reading before, because I can't see a lick sometimes. So to get this booklet, go online to N.E.P.P.C Facebook. I was reading something I really couldn't read a minute ago, shucking and jiving like I could see what I was reading. So to get a copy of this booklet, the 2021 International Tribunal, go to N.E.P.P.C Facebook. You understand? And continue to hit them hard. You understand? The jab, the left hook, the uppercut. Black power.
Black power. I think everything was said. We laid out everything. I don't have nothing else to give to people at this moment. I just want people to please share. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, that's N.E.P.P.C or at YouTube. Check it out. Please subscribe. Let's get that viewership up so we could start taking this work to the next level. I think it's very important that this work gets taken to the next level, because it has to be seen on the street. We have to have banners. We have to have dialogues. We have to wear our clothing that addresses political prisoners. It's very important, because people any and everywhere are paying attention to what you have on. I know I'm on the train with this, and I see people look my direction. So it's an idea that they're going to think about as they go along with their day, especially if they're students, right? Especially you're studying social studies, you're political major, right? Dealing with social sciences. So I think that that's very important. So as we always do, we're going to end it with a word from our brother and our supporter. Brother,
time that you guys organize a fund to set aside to help people who sacrifice for our freedom. Meaning, every time something happens, I hear this. Why don't the gang bangers jump up and do something for us? Why don't you kill them? You kill each other. And I say to myself, when is the last time you sent money to Assata Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Matulu Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mumia Abu-Jamal, or Larry Hoover, or Jeff Ford, or Leonard Peltier? When is the last time you have made it your business to send money to a revolutionary or a hoodlum that has helped us? And until we start to do that, how can we ask these young men to be warriors? Because if they do it in the name of the hood, at least the hood gonna honor their name always. At least the hood gonna make sure at least their children got something or their mama's house is looked after. As a community, if we're going to ask people to bungee jump for us with no cord, be prepared to take care of them when they get a life sentence. Be prepared to look after their families. See, I don't mind the work getting done, but let's take care of the workers. Let's stop asking more out of people than we would do for ourselves. So what I'd like to see, my dream thing, is to see 1 million people from the culture dedicate $10 a month. That's $10 million a month, $120 million a year toward taking care of civil rights leaders who have worked on our behalf and are elderly now and don't have to take care of themselves, like Rosa Parks, whose rent was paid by the owner of Little Caesars Pizza. We should have had a fund to make sure that she never had to worry about that again in her life. We should have a fund that makes sure money makes it to Assata Shakur, and Matulu Shakur has legal representation and food, and Leonard Peltier, who has diabetes in jail, can get insulin and taken care of. And until we start doing it, $10 a month is about what you pay on a couple fast food restaurant visits. So if 1 million of us do that for the rest of our life, look at how well we'll be taking care of the people that we're asking to sacrifice on our behalf.
I agree. And recently,
There you have it. But before we go, we just want to give a Black Power salute to our comrades who we didn't bring home. Romaine Fitzgerald and Brother Seth Hayes. Salute. Black Power.
Oh, it's a Maroon.
No, I was talking about
Maroon got permission. Maroon has been struggling to get compassionate relief,
yes.
And they gave that to us. We got to mention that. That was a victory.
Yes, that was a people's victory.
People's victory, right.
So
Maroon is coming home.
Yes, so to all those people who's saying their prayers and behind their prayers doing their work, we say continue to fight, and we got more to free or more to bring home, and we know that it's requiring some work, regardless of how many numbers. As long as that work is getting done, that's the most important thing. So what's the call?
Free them all.
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 What's the call?
Free